Alrighty guys, we're back for Void Burn, and this is an Edge of Eternities standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some games. We got 4 Plasma Bolt. It's a 1 red mana sorcery speed, deals 2 damage to any target, but it has Void. It's actually going to be 3 damage instead if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn. Cool, not the only Void card we have packed in. We have a couple Roving Actuators here on the top end. 4 mana, 3/4, has that Void, so when this creature enters, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Actually seems pretty decent, huh? So how are we pulling off this Void? Well, we do have some warping creatures packed in. We have a couple Nova Hellkites also here on the top end. 5 mana, 4/5. Flying Haste. When it enters, it deals 1 damage to target creature and opponent controls, which honestly pops a whole bunch of different things, huh? Now the warp cost on here is 2 and a red, so you may cast this card from your hand for its warp cost. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step, then you may cast it from exile on a later turn. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we can kind of think of it as a 3-drop. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it there on the top end. Now we also have Memorial Team Leader. It's a 4 mana, 4/3. It has a warp cost of 1 and a red. During your turn, other creatures you control get +1/+0. Okay. It's important that this is a Kavu because we actually have 4 Possibility Technicians. 3 mana, 3/3 warp cost for 1 and a red. Whenever this creature or another Kavu you control enters, exile the top card of your library. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it if you control a Kavu. So this could be a really interesting way to see more off the top. We'll see how much work it actually puts in today. And not the last of the Kavus. We actually have 4 Terrapact Intimidators. 2 mana, 2/1. When it enters, target opponent may have you create 2 lander tokens. If they don't, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. That's pretty neat. Actually seems decent, huh? We'll see how much work it puts in today. I'm not going to take the time to go over the lander tokens right now, but there it is on the screen. Now, working really well with Void is actually going to be treasure tokens. So we have a couple Charming Scoundrels in here, as well as all 4 Ancestors' Aid. This is a 2 mana instant speed. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. And then also create a treasure token. Honestly, it is not a terrible combat trick at all. So also working well with the Void, we have all 4 Fanatical Firebrands. Of course, you can tap it, sack it, deal 1 damage to any target. Should be decent in here. We also have 4 Kavaron Harriers. 1 red mana, 2/1. Whenever this creature attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at the end of combat, which is kind of important that it doesn't say at the end of turn, because that way you can go ahead and use your Void cards on your main phase too, which is pretty neat. Now, also fitting the burn theme, we have all 4 Burst Lightning packed in too. A couple honorable mentions over here. I thought about Full Bore, and I definitely thought about Lightning Strike as well, so... oh, also guys, 23 total mana, one of them is a Lindblum. Cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and see what kind of matches we can actually get into. This is day 1 of the set release, and right now it looks like the ranked games are locked. So we're going to have to do some normal play mode probably, but yeah, we'll see. All right, normal play mode it is. We'll see if we can get right into that first game. We might have to do a lot of pausing in this video. So, oh, there we go. We found an opponent. That's good news. So, guys, what am I expecting from the build? I have no idea. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping for a lot, but it might be pretty janky too. So, we'll see. We go first. That's great news. Lindblum slows us down for a turn, unfortunately. There's a reason it's only a 1 of in here. We still probably value our turn 1 play. Lindblum on turn 2. We keep this for sure. We'll get the Harrier down. There's a good chance that we actually see an untapped land off the top anyways. And then maybe we can actually use the Harrier's ability. Get 4 damage through next turn. It's a swamp, and you know what we don't got to worry about anymore, guys? Cut down. You know what we do have to worry about? Ooh. Timeline Caller. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely let them get that through. Anyways, we have to worry about other 1 mana things with swamps that do like -2/-2 and stuff like that. Alright, we definitely play the Lindblum. And keep the Burst Lightning open. Okay, get the swing. Don't have the 2 to pay. Yep, Burst Lightning open. We can definitely be patient with the Plasma Bolt until it can actually hit for 3 too. Cecile's a problem. Burst Lightning doesn't hit that. Now, how patient do we want to be with the Burst Lightning, I wonder? Forsaken Miner's not even that great of a target for it, too. Maybe I just hit face. Gets them 1 step closer to the Cecile, though. Yeah, I'll be patient with it then, right? Okay, there's the mountain. That would have been good last turn. But it's also pretty good this turn, too. I don't mind Nova Hellkite swing in the air for 4. Cecile will bring him down to 10. Then they flip this. Won't have a great way to deal 4 damage to it. So maybe if we're patient again here, we can start with Terrapact Intimidator. Well, this is a tough decision, guys. We have a lot of things to consider in hand. They most likely give us lander tokens. It's not like we can pop one now anyways. Those should still give us some decent value, though. We can let the Cecile get through. I guess Burst Lightning open. No swings, right? Yeah, we have to, and Cecile's probably one we'll see a lot of, right? Especially in mono black aggro, which could very well be a thing with this timeline caller. Okay, 3rd mana. And we really don't want to double block the Cecile either. Yeah, this is going to be a problem card until we can hit for 3 with the Plasma Bolt, which I guess we can do next turn. We pop a lander token. Then 3 damage to the Cecile. That gets us extra mana on the board, which could be pretty vital when we have Hellkite in hand too. They go for the full swing, and I'll try to block the Forsaken Miner. No, I won't. We're safe. We're totally safe. Down to 14, and the opponent goes down to 14 as well here. Burst Lightning is still open. Hoping to pop like a chump blocker or something. Tragic Trajectory. Okay. Yep, that takes care of the Harrier. Too bad Plasma Bolt is an instant speed, huh? That'd be really good though, wouldn't it? Okay. Ward, discard a card, menace 4/1. Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and opponent controls. Ooh. Ooh, I really don't want to discard a card. That's kind of a problem, isn't it? It's a chunk of damage, too. Okay. Right. I can't pay that ward cost right now, I would say. That's tough, man. Maybe they block. Probably not. They take the 2 down. They're expecting Cecile to flip, give them some life gain back. But what we really want is the Plasma Bolt to hit that beforehand. We'll start with the swing just in case. Yeah, mana off the top would have been good too, so that way we could have warped the Hellkite, and then the warp counts for the void. We're going down to 12 here. We also could have warped the team leader. It doesn't have haste or anything fancy. Intimidator only would have done 1 extra damage, maybe. This is fine. Popping the lander, getting some land is totally fine. And Plasma Bolt hits for 3. We want to hit this before it flips for sure, and it flips next turn. Unless I kept a blocker, which you can't guarantee when the opponent could just have more spot removal too. Yeah, I'm interested to see more spot removal from the opponent because I wonder what people are landing on now that Cut Down and Go for the Throat are out of the equation. They go ahead and play the Timeline Caller for the 2 mana. They boost the Intimidator. We're down to 6. Okay. Okay. Right. We're in danger, bro. This is incredibly dangerous. That ward cost is crazy business. Hold on, opponent. I want to think this through properly. The other Intimidator's like okay. We could swing for 7 if we drop the Hellkite. We have another 2 with the Burst Lightning. We could always go Burst Lightning onto the Saboteur. There's no guarantee that they don't have 6 next turn, though, is the main problem here, I would say. I think... And then seeing mana off the top would be really good for us, too. I think we have to keep the Intimidator as a blocker. This is rough, man. This is rough. I don't know. Okay, all right, number 1, I totally was overlooking the ETB there. That's pretty good for us, man. I'm going to go for the Harrier here, even though I like the 1-drop. And we're going to keep the Burst Lightning open for their turn. We're definitely going to swing for 7 then, right? Okay, I think we're fine. We're totally fine here. Hellkite's ETB. Pretty good. The ward cost on that card, though, is pretty good, too, though. Yeah, for sure. See if Burst Lightning saves us from a hasty caller from hand. They drop the GGs. Conduit Pylons. Surveil. Okay. Yeah, with 2 cards remaining from hand. Okay, what we really don't want is a 3rd caller, because then we're dead no matter what. And I would say that would be pretty unlucky. Maybe. Okay. They go for the swing. They can warp those back, but they have to pay 2 to warp those back. Meanwhile, they don't have to pay any life for the Forsaken Miner. We go down to 2 here. We don't know what that last card in their hand is. Mana off the top would be terrific. It's going to be something. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2. Wow. Holy cow. And we missed mana. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Right. How do we get that 5 through? Right. So, Scoundrel could go Wicked Roll. And then Ancestor's Aid onto the Scoundrel. That's only 4. Could warp the Technician. That doesn't seem great, does it? It doesn't. Guys, we're in danger. Even with 2 blockers on the board, which we could pull off, there's nothing we can do, right? Oh, really, really bad draws here at the end. We're going to use my 1-timer as I make sure we're missing. Yeah, Scoundrel's the only one with haste. Technician could help us find Burn. But we're still, even with a 1-mana Burn spell, we're still 1 short anyways. But I guess that's still the best bet. See what's off the top, because we could see land too. We don't find land. We do find a Terrapact Intimidator, though. At that point, I guess that's what we play. We get to see another off the top. It could still be land. Yeah, this is a great showcase of a game where why we don't have 21 mana in here or something, right? 23 mana. It's a very expensive deck list. But also earlier when I discarded, hey, there's the mana. Okay. Okay, yeah, good game, opponent. This was good. This was a great test one, and really fun to see mono black aggro too. Very scary cards. Anyways, this could have come down to me easily. Okay, they go ahead. They warp out the timeline caller here. We have 1 block here, and it's a trade. A very good game. Anyways, the discard on the Saboteur, I went ahead and I discarded the Harrier. And the Harrier for 1 mana could have given us an additional blocker. It wouldn't have ended up mattering there anyways. But that, I mean, it kind of sort of matters. Now, when they had us draw all those extra cards, it's too bad we didn't find that additional mana, but even so, the 5th mana, even with the Hellkite, would have just been 4 in the air with a 5 mana Hellkite, right? So we would have still had to find the 5th mana and still have found a way to do 5, which would have looked like maybe Scoundrel Treasure Token. Well, we still would have needed Burn for their last card being a chump blocker too. Yeah, Hellkite could have popped their 3/1 when it entered. But yeah, we still wouldn't have had the 5. So I don't know how we could have gotten there. More Burn, I guess, right? I mean, Lightning Strike, honorable mention for a very good reason, huh? It actually feels super weird calling it a Burn deck list without Lightning Strike in here. Just 1 mana Burn spells in this one. All right, right into the next game. Good. Pretty good, man. I mean, the curve, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah, we'll see. See what we can get done here. Now, we could actually start with up against Orzhov. We can actually start with warping out the Technician, but that's probably not worth it. Just start with the Intimidator. They give us some lander tokens, probably. Can also swing for 4 if we want to use the Harrier's ability, but I say we definitely want to establish creatures, right? See what they do. Oh, they actually give us the counters, which means probably spot removal, right? Voice of Victory, wow. We get to keep this 4/3 around for a second. Now, Ancestor's Aid. Pretty good, actually. I don't mind pretty much anything in hand. We'll see what they end up blocking. If they block the Harrier, Ancestor's Aid onto the Harrier, pop the Voice, is really good. The extra treasure token, we can get the other Intimidator down. All right, very nice. Come on down, Intimidator number 2. Now this time it's lander tokens, right? Is that 4/3? I mean, another 4/3. All right, this time is lander tokens. Yeah, that makes sense. Infestation Sage. They're going to have chump blockers for days, dude. All right. Let's see. Firebrand is not bad, I guess. With us going this wide, I'd love to see more off the top with Technician, but we should probably just warp out the team leader swing. Lander token is tapped land. I wouldn't mind more mana, that's for sure. If we warp out the Technician, we could find more mana that way too, right? We could play it as a 3-drop later on. I think we do this before combat too. Yeah, we'll see how much it's actually worth warping this instead. Honestly, guys, this could be... All right, nice. Very nice. Yeah, this could be a 24 mana deck list, honestly. Yeah, let's get the warps going. That's funny, man. You see more off the top with Technician. We can play that Nemesis for as long as we control a Kavu. And they do have some really good blocks here, but I think we still take the full swing, right? I think it'd be silly not to. So Infestation Sage into the 3/1 Intimidator, and then... Oh no, they're actually not going to trade into the 5/3 here. Okay, so they chump, they sacrifice, we don't have trample, so still nothing gets through from the 5/3. That's probably much better for them. That gives us a little bit of information about what's left in their hand, probably. Because the trade into the 5/3 would have been pretty good, but they must not have another sacrifice outlet ready or available. Ooh, Sathara, the Super Void. Okay. Okay, that's a problem. We're going to start with the Intimidator. We want to keep the 4/3 around. Still have this. They're tapped out. All right, the 2/1 Intimidator will be the first one. They could do it again. We get rid of the Harrier this time. Okay, it does say another creature here. That's scary, man. We definitely want to see some of our burn cards, too. It's nice that Screaming Nemesis is chilling. More land? I'm not mad about that. at all. With Fanatical Firebrand in hand, we can start with the mana. We can actually play Memorial Team Leader. Force a block, maybe. They don't know the Firebrand's in hand. They might take 5. That would be incredibly risky. I'm going to try it. It's a good trade for them too, though, is the problem. And then they'll be out of creatures. Which means... Oh, crap, guys. That's really bad. That's really bad. Okay. Okay. Right. So I kept Firebrand as a surprise just in case they let it go through. But this Super Void's crazy business. Okay, they still got 2 cards in hand as well. Yeah, even with the block, it's just whenever a creature dies, then we have to exile a creature too. They go ahead and get a 1/1 here as well. We're going to have a really hard time pushing this last bit of damage through. I don't know what we're going to do about this Super Void for real. Right? So let's start with Technician, see what we see off the top. Nemesis is pretty good, and we have extra... Wait, we saw Firebrand. We already had Nemesis available, right? Wait a minute. Who am I? What's happening? I played this game once before, guys. I swear, I swear. It also wouldn't be terrible to thin the deck list now, too, but we probably want to keep the Lander tokens for when we find our Void cards. Stopping life gain with the Nemesis is fine, and the exile on the Sothera is going to be the Firebrand. I don't know, man. I don't know about this, huh? So there's no point in swinging with Firebrand. We really don't want it to die. That's what we want the exile to be. But if they double block... Holy cow, guys, what do we do? We got to keep the Technician around, probably? Okay, they're just going to take the 3 and focus on killing off the creatures next turn, maybe. That might mean they still have a plan for life gain at some point. Okay, yeah, as long as we have a Kavu, we can play the other Firebrand. Any amount of our burn would be terrific here. Enduring Innocence, the lifelink, yeah, okay. But I thought they were going to do more blocks, so that way we had to exile more of our creatures. They do go for a swing, we let it happen. We have to be very careful about the Super Void. Yeah, now we can pop the Enduring Innocence with the Firebrand, but then Super Void has us exile one of our creatures, which would be terrible. Unless we exile the other Firebrand. Which wouldn't be terrible, I guess. Oh! Well, depending on what this Concealed Courtyard is, a 3rd Firebrand might just do it. Let's see. Let's see what we can get done here, huh? That's a good draw. Well, it's like I said, pretty much any of our burn cards, and at that point, Firebrand counting as one of the burn cards, huh? Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And as far as not playing ranked, because ranked is broken right now, it's not like we're not seeing potential meta deck lists, you know? It's not like we're seeing jank. I just want to double check here. Yep, ranked is still locked, unfortunately. So we're just going to keep the ball rolling in normal standard play mode. So far, so good, I'd say. We're seeing the synergies for sure. Oh, guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also, the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. This looks pretty good. Yeah, Plasma Bolt that game would have been excellent in that last one. Greedy Freebooter, holy cow, guys. Okay. We're gonna have a problem with these sacrifice deck lists, huh? I guess we establish Harrier over Firebrand. Either way, it's a great trade for them, so... Yeah, it might even just die to removal in hand, get them some ramp. Actually go Timeline Caller, we take the 2. Okay. Intimidator, I guess. Yeah, Firebrand could come down. We could swing for 3. We could go Firebrand, pop Firebrand. Hit the freebooter. They'll have 1 treasure open, but then Plasma Bolt hits for 3. That's probably not worth it, right? We're just going to be very patient here. Get the Intimidator down, see if they choose lander tokens. Probably, right? I think it's usually lander tokens. It's the fact that it's 2 of them that's pretty wild to me. This seems like crazy value. All right. No attacks. Like I said, very good trade for them. There's a better thing in this Harrier's future. Go for the swing. I'm going to take the 3. Yeah, 4 cards in hand. See if Sephiroth comes down or something. No, it's the Faithful, so they're going to pop the freebooter. They get a treasure. They get the scry after the draw 2 from the Faithful. All right. See if they play something with the treasure token. They do not. So we could warp in Technician. These are pretty good trades for us now. Into the Faithful because it's a 3-1 probably. It's nice that the Firebrand could pop that too, though. Actually, we might want to do that because we at least push the 4 through and we get the other Intimidator down. And then we'll let them decide what they want to do with that. Yeah, this is a 1 mana trading into a 3 mana, keeping our 2/1s alive. And that makes a lot of sense to me. We could push 6 through, but just playing the other Intimidator should technically be better here, right? Getting it established. Even more lander tokens. I'm kind of not mad about it, right? Okay, Umbral Caller Zealot. Sinkhole Surveyor. Bro. Yeah, I guess we take the 2. Hitting the Caller isn't the best thing when the trade is, like, not... Like, we definitely have to trade up in some form, I would say. And I'd say getting rid of Kavus is not a trade up for us. So, Plasma Bolt hitting the Surveyor after getting some ramp on the lander is not terrible. Then the trades on the ground are so good for us that I think they take 6 through. This is also deck thinning, which is pretty important. And then pretty much after we have this much mana, seeing any of our top end should just be fantastic. So let's go ahead, Plasma Bolt the Surveyor. I'd say that's a really good hit for us. We're going to go ahead and get the Surveil in with the Zealot. Yeah, what's cool in this scenario, it looks like a similar concept to just Torch the Tower, where we could have sacrificed a lander token, Torch the Tower for 3, but Plasma Bolt can actually hit face if we have to, so see what we can get done here. It would be a good trade, but yeah, they take the 6 down to 10. Possibility Technician might be a little MVP here, depending on what we find off the top. Infestation Sage, Sinkhole Surveyor. Bro. Okay, down to 8. They're going to pop something this time around. It's going to be a Tragic Trajectory. Terrapact Intimidator. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't mind saving some extra mana. We can warp this out for 2, and we'll still have 3 available. Find more off the top, find more off the Intimidator, right? The problem is they got so much value and 2 more creatures for that turn. And also they still have a treasure token too. Maybe we just straight up establish the Technician instead of warping. I hope that's okay because what we see off the top could be a void card. It's going to be mana actually, which is not terrific for us. We probably still go Intimidator, right? And again, we could see a void card off of this. See what they decide on Intimidator's ability here. More lander tokens. We do find a void card, guys. So unfortunately, because I didn't warp the Technician, we don't have the Void here, but depending on where they block from the Intimidator, still pop the Surveyor. Surveyor is what I want to pop, but maybe this Zealot is actually the pop anyways, right? See what they decide to do, if they want to get more Surveils in beforehand. Also, just like using this burn on the opponent's face could have been pretty good this whole time too, so I'm going to awkwardly hold off because their block into each of those is really bad for us. Okay, Vengeful Blood Witch. Okay, another Zealot. That's a lot, man. That's a lot to deal with. So they're going down to 9 here. Because of the Sinkhole Surveyor's ability, we might as well take the block into the Collar since they have to warp this back. For 2, they gain 1 back up to 10. They go ahead, they just sacrifice it. Get the Surveil through. Yeah, by going wide, it's making it really tricky for us to actually slip anything by. It's more mana off the top as well, guys. Well, now's the time to do the deck thinning, huh? Let's do it. Pop those lander tokens. We're not going to see any more mana for the rest of the game. Oh, guys, these aren't at sorcery speed, are they? Sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Yeah, we totally could have waited. That's okay. That's all right. We still have 1 mountain open, 1 card in hand. 10 lands on the board, guys. So going down to 5 here. Oh, they have they actually have lethal damage, don't they? Yeah, they got 1, 2 more going through. They got 2 in the air plus a counter on the Surveyor. Yeah, they put a counter, so it's going to be 2 in the air. And then on their turn, they can pop the Surveyor as well, keeping the Blood Witch around. Or they can pop the Blood Witch at that point, too. Well, good game, opponent. Dude, these deck lists are probably going to be a problem, huh? Oh, this one's in the air, too, the Insect. Okay. Right. So we take the blocks on the ground that we have. 2 still gets through in the air, then the Blood Witch wraps this up with the Zealot too. Yeah, this is a scary deck list, man. It's hard to play against too. All right, we are 32 minutes in. I think we have time for 1 more, and I kind of believe in the deck list. I think we can end on a high note. I know one thing, it'd be really nice to test it against a different deck list. So let's see. Oh, I mean, no, what was the first game? I'm blanking right now. I'm forgetting. Why does it feel like we've only seen sacrifice deck lists? Oh no. Oh no, guys. I don't remember the games. Okay, opponent goes first. I like this. I really want to see Ancestor's Aid do something today. I really like the little Kavu strategies that we got going on in here. There's only like 9 Kavu total, but it's really neat. Okay, Golgari colors. I guess, thank goodness, right? Try for a swing. Nice. I like this Plasma Bolt a lot. Oh, Jund colors. Okay. Okay, this will be different, right? When we see Jund, it's usually dinos. So now, what did dinos lose to rotation? That's not a dinosaur. Okay. So Ancestor's Aid is probably really good here, but they also might just want to take the 1 because they don't know what's in our deck list. Create a lander. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Okay. Yeah. I think they take the 1 here. Then we establish the Intimidator. We also had Firebrand, Pop Firebrand, Plasma Bolt the Specialist. So hopefully it's okay that I didn't do that. Probably lander tokens if we've learned anything today, right? No, they give us some counters, so that could also mean removal in hand. Could go lander for the turn. Oh, hey, look at that. The new Fancy Pants Shock lands. Ooh, new reprints. Weapons manufacturing. All right, dude. Now we're talking. Embrace Oblivion with the lander token. We go down to 18. They go ahead, pop that Intimidator. Swing for 1 down to 17. Cool. Yeah, cool turn. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. My voice is giving out. A cool turn opponent is what I was trying to say there. So, Nova Hellkite swing for 5 is not terrible. This specialist is a little concerning. Weapons manufacturing 2. Swing for 5 down to 11. Or Ancestor's Aid for the turn. Get ready for a 5-mana Hellkite instead. If we warp out Hellkite, Burst Lightning could finish it up too. I think I'm going to swing with Firebrand just for the 1. No. I will. I'll pack extra damage onto this as well. And then we'll keep open just the Burst Lightning and keep the treasure token for next turn. How do you guys feel about that? Because we could also pop the treasure token now. Plasma Bolt their face down to 10. Still have 4 mana available for next turn for the warp. And anything else that we see off the top. Okay, I'm going to be very patient for some reason. We got 3 through and we ramped with Ancestor's Aid, which is important. Chainsaw. My Firebrand, no, get down. Alright, they get a munitions here. No clean way for them to sacrifice those yet. Still got 2 cards in hand, though. I guess the Embrace Oblivion's one of the clean ways. Luckily, that's sorcery speed, so it's not going to be dealing with the Nova Hellkite. I'm going to be patient with the Burst Lightning as well, guys. There's a real chance that we actually need this 4 damage on 5 mana when it comes time. We'll see, though, right? Fanatical Firebrand. Cool. So just going Warp on Hellkite, save the 5 mana for next turn, swing for 4 and still Plasma Bolt their face this turn too is pretty crazy business, right? I think so. Let's warp down the Hellkite. And actually, we could... I want to save the 5 for next turn, but we could pop the Specialist, but I don't even know if that's worth it. I think we just swing face. Plasma Bolt face down to 6. And then save the treasure token for Hellkite next turn. How do we feel about that? Because now, even if we see an untapped mana, we could win with the Burst Lightning and Hellkite swing, potentially. If we don't see an untapped mana, that's fine too. We still get a nice, hasty dragon down. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, keeping treasure token, we have Burst Lightning open in case of an emergency. It's definitely an interesting version of red, guys. It's a little bit different to play, honestly. Or it feels a little bit different, you know? Ooh, Rotten Mouth Viper. Holy cow. Holy cow. I'd say that's a clean way to pop those artifacts. This is a problem. Down to 10. Viper comes down and we can... I'm afraid to discard anything. A Viper's a huge problem, guys. I don't want to sacrifice the treasure, though. Oh, no. Okay, Firebrand, maybe? I don't want to lose the life, that's for sure. I'm hesitant to get rid of Firebrand because... Firebrand would be the game winner if we find a Plasma Bolt off the top. Taking 4. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's see what we see, because we can win with untapped mana. We go down to 9. Other words, we probably lose, right? Untapped mana. No, it's a Roving Actuator, which is pretty good, actually, but it's not going to really help us too much here. Get a free Ancestor's Aid, maybe? We got to pop the treasure to do it. Actuator doesn't have haste. Plasma Bolt, we can hit the Specialist. Dude, what a devastating turn from the opponent. Hellkite for 4. They win on the backswing. Because we have to... No, we could discard 2. We could still win. We could still win with the Hellkite play, right? Because we can discard 2. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Outside of that, Actuator, pop the treasure, free Plasma Bolt, then Burst Lightning from hand. That's only 5 damage. Free Plasma Bolt can hit the Specialist. Burst Lightning would still be open. I think, so we have a lot of options, guys. I think I'm just going to go Hellkite and hope that they don't pull off anything too fancy here. That's my hope. I hope that we just can have what we need to get rid of the Viper. Just discard our hand, right? They got 3 cards in hand. Is there a real chance that they just win with like a Specialist after playing? They play 1 artifact, right? And then find a way to sacrifice it, or a lot of artifacts have the ability to sacrifice themselves too. Like this could be food too in the deck list, especially since it's Jund colors. Chainsaw doesn't hit the Hellkite unless they go another Chainsaw, which would be their 3rd one. But now that they have artifacts, they go Embrace Oblivion. Okay. Which means we do not have the discard here. Oh, also, we're just taking so much damage. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay. Okay, so we lose 0, and then we lose 7 from the swing. Hey, good game, opponent. So what do you guys think would have been the best play there? I guess based on what they had for the turn, with a piece of spot removal, I guess the Actuator would have been a little better, but we still would have been 1 mana short from winning the game. And Hellkite wasn't in our hand, so we wouldn't have been able to discard that to the Rottenmouth Viper swing. And Rottenmouth Viper also being a 6/6, we didn't have a lot of ways to actually remove it too, even if we doubled down on burn. I don't know, man, but it was so close that I probably missed something in that game. Actually, just maybe hitting the insect would have been better too. Getting rid of the insect and then trying to just maybe chump the Rottenmouth Viper. I don't know, man. I don't know, but that one really, really could have just come down to my plays. 42 minutes in. Here's the deck list again. Neat. Neat, yeah. Yeah, we got to play with a lot of new cards in this version of Void Burn. I guess a new version of Red Deck wins, which we did not get to win that much today, did we? I don't know the actual win rate. A lot of those matches actually blurred together because they were up against a very similar style of sacrifice. So I'm sorry about that, guys. When I go back through and watch the video before posting it, I guess that'll jog my memory, right? But a few things, guys. I would go up a Screaming Scoundrel and drop an Ancestor's Aid. All 4 Ancestor's Aids because I wanted as many instants and sorceries as possible to be able to hit with the Roving Actuator, but as only a 2-of on the top end, it's totally fine to go up another Scoundrel, and you'll actually really appreciate the fact that you just have an extra creature. I'm not going to personally make that change because I don't want to go up a rare and drop a common. So I'm not going to personally make that change, but I do think that would be a really, really good change. 3 Ancestor's Aid, 3 Charming Scoundrel. At that point, too, you could consider 2 Ancestor's Aid. Maybe you have all 4 Scoundrel already in your collection. Guys, go ahead, put it on the Do Not Craft list. Put everything on the Do Not Craft list for the first couple weeks of a new set until the meta actually settles, right? I would just base everything on your collection and what you crack from packs. And then eventually, once the meta settles, that's when you can maybe start crafting up deck lists that you really enjoy. Overall, this one isn't too expensive, right? Burst Lightning is a common. Fanatical Firebrand's a common. Harrier is an uncommon that's new. Plasma Bolt's a new common. I really like Plasma Bolt, guys. Expect more of this from me in the future. It has to be like, you kind of have to build around the Void, but also maybe not so much. Like, for example, Firebrand, if you're putting it in your burn deck list anyways, then you might as well rock the Plasma Bolt too. and then any amount of treasure tokens in a burn deck list as well. I guess it doesn't even have to be burn at that point. I think we just want to keep an eye on this. Sorcery speed definitely slows it down, but I think that's a good thing probably. At instant speed, I think this might be too good. Maybe? I don't know. Don't quote me on it. We have Ancestor's Aid being a common. Charming Scoundrel's rare. Terrapact Intimidator is really cool, wasn't it? I like that a lot. Uncommon. Possibility Technician's a brand new rare. Screaming Nemesis, of course, is a mythic and has been a well worthwhile craft for me as a red player, especially. Yeah, you guys know how powerful Screaming Nemesis actually is. Memorial Team Leader is a new uncommon, Roving Actuator is a new uncommon, and then Nova Hellkite is a new rare, which was also really, really cool today, wasn't it? Even at the warp cost, just swinging in the air for 4 is kind of wild, but then the ETB is really easy to forget about because you're playing it for everything else. You're playing this card for all the other amazing things about it, and then you also just get that ETB also, and just wow, I guess, right? Because 1 damage should, in theory, pop a lot of different things. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 23 mana felt pretty good. We flooded in some of those games. We probably could have gotten a little luckier too. I like, yeah, sure, I could have played it a little better, but in some of those matches, I don't know, based on like the curve that we have and everything too. This isn't the curve. This is the rarity curve, right? Oh, Lindblum also rare too. So overall, with 16 commons and a huge chunk of uncommons, it's not terrible, is it? It really isn't. That's good at least. But here's the actual curve, which actually does change a little bit when you are looking at the warp creatures like Technician being at 2, Memorial Team Leader at 2, and Nova Hellkite at 3. But I don't know if I'll often rearrange for warp costs like this, because I don't know if we want to count warp as part of the actual curve like this, or I haven't really decided yet. But when we curve like that, and you can see we're actually poking up over the 2-drops a little bit. Actually, no, we're not. We still have 16 1-mana cards and 15 2-mana cards if we count the warp costs as 2 mana. So yeah, never mind. Still a lot of 1-drops. We could maybe consider 22 mana. I do think that this deck list is going to be incredibly expensive a lot of the time. I like 23 mana in here, and at least if we do end up flooding out, there's still a small chance that we can just play Lindblum for the adventure side too. I like Lindblum a lot as a utility land, and the extra wizard could actually go the extra mile too. I will probably be revisiting Kavu at some point. What kind of Kavu deck list do you guys want to see? Is there possibility for like Gruul Kavu or something? Or maybe we just go mono red again at some point with this small Kavu theme packed in, only take a different route with it. Maybe we don't have to go the void route next time. Also, guys, let me know what you think of the new Red Cat artwork for Edge of Eternities. And I think that's everything. Enough rambling, huh? Let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the comments. And also, if you made it this far in, y'all are champions for real. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.